Hi, welcome to our devotional today. This is Gathering Momentum, and I'm Christine Casten, and I look forward to talking to you today about our topic, which is discerning the times. Now, I know that sometimes when you come into a topic like that and you think, wow, that can go a lot of different directions. And you're right, it could go a lot of different directions. But the stance we're going to take today is really about what happens when we're in our relationship with God and how, through that relationship, we can discern the times and seasons of our life. There are so many opportunities for us to really be in that place of waiting on God and recognizing when things need to move or shift or when they don't. And so let's just talk about that for a little bit. There's so many times in my life when I have wanted to run ahead, right? I have an idea, I have an understanding, the Lord has given me a direction and I'm just ready to roll. And then I hear the Lord say, "But wait." And I'm like, right? I've got to wait on this just a little bit longer. And so, in that place, what He's taught me is that a spiritual fruit of self control is in play because He's moving things, He's causing things to come together for a specific moment in time. And if I run ahead, then I may actually miss the convergence of those things. On the other hand, there are times when sometimes we, out of our fear or out of just uncertainty, we feel like the Lord is saying to go, and we want to stay, right? We want to hold with what's known, what's comfortable, what may seem that that we have an understanding of, rather than going into something that's unknown or unexpected. And in that place, there's that trust that we rely on, our past trust that's been built, the past faith that's been realized in our time with God, and are able to move forward with Him with the courage that He places in us, right? So, in that place of wanting to stay when He's saying go, to take that moment and just say, God, fill me with your courage, fill me with the um, the capacity to say yes to you. Let my yes be a yes, and let me move forward in that place with you. I think that a lot of times when we're talking about discerning the times, it's really hard to listen to everyone around you, and although there can be confirmation in that, there can also be a lot of confusion because people will come and they'll give us their opinions, which aren't necessarily based in God's wisdom or His direction, through them. They look at something, and based on their own fears or their own anxiety, or maybe even a lack of understanding of what it is God's calling you into, and they'll encourage you to do something that really is contrary to what God is saying. So, in the midst of trying to seek confirmation and lay out that fleece, sometimes it seems confusing because there are multiple conflicting words of encouragement or words of discouragement in that place. And so, how do you know? How do you recognize when it's time to move and when it's time to stay? Well, I think one of the things that we can do is, in our time with God, is we just really seek His heart first. We really want to look for the confirmation in our relationship with Him for the timing. And that's where we can ask the questions of, is it now or not yet? If it's not yet, do you have something you want me to prepare in the meantime as I'm waiting for that go moment? Uh, is there a connection that needs to be made with others in that process? Are there people that I need to connect to and maybe learn from their skills or learn from their understanding or wisdom that they've gained in that process? Is there something that needs to be happening in building relationships around me? Is there a place um, where I need to lay something down? Maybe part of this shift, this waiting time, this interim before the go is given. It's about me really assessing what am I putting on the table and what is God asking me to lay down, because I can't carry that into the next place. Now, um, you may be saying, well, what is that? What does that look like? Well, for example, if I'm committed to, let's say, 5 things, and in this next season, I need to decrease the number of commitments I have because whatever I'm stepping into is going to be more time consuming, then I need to talk to the Lord about which one of these things do I lay down, or how many of these things do I lay down? What does He want to take off my plate so I have space to put something on my plate that has to do with what this next thing is about? Or are there skills that I haven't learned yet? Is it something that I need to take a class for, read a book, talk to people that are experts in that field, you know, gain the information so that I am equipped in what that next thing will hold. Another thing that we might want to think about uh, is if the answer is go. If the answer is not wait, it's not stay, it's go, it's time. The gates are open, run. One of the things that we might want to take the moment to say is okay, yes, Lord, but go with me. Help me be able to walk with you, solidly with you, and not to run ahead, not to get behind, but would you help me know where to put my feet, and would you direct my path? And it's just taking those moments as you're stepping in, or stepping into the wait, or stepping into the go, where you really ultimately go back into relationship with God, because ultimately He's the one who has given you the ability to discern the times, right? He's the one who's released that into your understanding, and has given you the direction on it. Now, I will say there are times in my life when it has just been like crickets. I've been sitting there going, "Okay, Lord, you said go." So I'm asking all the questions. I'm, re-upping, if you will, that relational connection with Him, and moving into that place, but I'm doing it so blindly. I don't know what's there. I'm just taking it a step at a time. And when I'm asking Him for more revelation of something, He doesn't give it. And I'm sitting there saying, okay, I don't have the information. I'm just taking that faith step and moving into this place. And that's golden, because there's something in that dependency that God's also teaching me to make sure and to ensure that I don't get ahead of Him, or that I don't run with what my expectation or what my thought of what it might look like, and that I'm putting that into practice rather than truly waiting on Him to release the revelation. I will say that to me, the most valuable piece of discerning the times and the seasons is not about having a one up on everyone around me. It's truly about what does it look like to stand solidly and firmly in a relational connection with God, to be willing to um, submit to the timing of His revelation, to the timing of His revealing of what is next, and the what comes into clarity in those moments when He will finally release that into my heart. The other thing I've really discovered is that to be in a place where I can discern the times and seasons within my life, that there is a choice to be in complete dependency on Him. And a lot of times, what I found is initially when I first had that practice, right? I was learning the discipline of what that looks like. And as I was doing that, there was a lot in those times that there was still tension and there was still frustration because I wanted to know, or I wanted to go, or I wanted to, be able to step into things more quickly. But what I started realizing was he has so much wisdom in the timing. And as he would release things to me, I would see the value of not having known that before, but the value of knowing it in that moment in time, and how what he had done in moving in my life to increase my understanding or my skills or my development, my personal development, my character development, all of those things, that was a necessary part. And and in um that journey and that rhythm with God, what I've discovered is that I love hearing his view or understanding his view of the time and the season. And there's been so many deep, deep conversations that I've been able to have with the Lord because of that willingness to say, okay, this is the season or this is not. And obviously there's a lot more types of seasons than go and stay, but there are things that he does in those places that build who we are in our faith, that build our confidence in him, that take us on this journey of connection where we know he is God and we are not, right? And he takes us into those places of depth and and really awakening in a lot of ways, because as we step into a place of maturity with him, as we are awakened to his view of the times and seasons, of his go or stay, of his wait in the moment or embrace the process of moving forward. There's an awakening that comes in our relationship with him. We realize the sovereignty of his nature. We realize the wisdom that he carries. Yeah, we know it. Yeah, God's wise, but when we see it and you see it revealed continually in your life, something grows in you that didn't have a place to grow before, because he's tilling the soil of your heart and he's making it ready to receive the deposits, the seeds, if you will, so that they have a place to grow, so they won't get choked out because the soil's rocky or an inch thick. It's the time that he takes to really go in and cultivate who we are in our internal territory, in our internal atmosphere, in our internal core of who we are. As he does all of that, then we're able to step into something with much more power, much more authority, much more awareness of who our God is. And there's something that grows in that, in the steadfast nature of God, but also the steadfast way we can stay connected and attuned to him. So as you press into discerning the times and seasons of your life, as you press into recognizing who God is in that and what that looks like in your interaction with him and what that means for your life, I just want to encourage you to not get discouraged when it seems like he's quiet, to not get discouraged when you feel as if you don't have the answers for what comes next or when comes next. Just continue to press in and know that he is faithful and he is true, and he will reveal to you what needs to be revealed in the time and the season. that is needed. And in that place, you get to step into that time and season fully confident, fully encouraged, and fully connected to the God who loves you so much. So I hope this encourages you today. I look forward to seeing you next week at this time, 11 o'clock Eastern on Tuesdays, on our social media pages for the Warrior Commission. I really can't even begin to express how excited I am for what's happening in your life and what's going on. Please post, share your thoughts, share your comments, and I will look forward to responding to them. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.